Back to the Future is 30 years old this year. I'm from the UK, where Doctor Who is our king or something, and that's just celebrated its 50th anniversary. Time travel. Why is it such an exciting genre?
Let's see. Well, I think because of the potential to change things. I just joked on the panel that our show. I didn't joke, but I said that on our panel that the show is at its core thematically about death, and what time travel has always allowed you to do is undo the permanence of death, and like the permanence of death is what makes us human. And if you can undo it, what are we now? It changes fundamentally who we are and what we are. And I do think time travel allows people to explore that. You know, it makes being human different because things aren't as permanent as they used to be. Whether it's death, whether it's decisions, whether it's love affairs, whatever it is that you can go back and experience again, or go back in history, which is another fun thing, just to kind of see why do we keep making the same mistakes? Why can't humanity get it right? And you can go back and see those things.
And that's incredible. So you're right about the permanence of death, but also a character is dependent on decisions and events and things that build up over life, a sequence of events. So how do you keep track of characters that are constantly past the changing and multiple versions of themselves? Is that the biggest challenge of the show?
No, I don't think it is the biggest. For the most part, our characters are moving in a linear. That's the one thing in the show that's linear, that moves in a straight line, is their development. And certain things have changed. And in this season, we're actually going to do something where there will be a shift, and people will be different, and we'll have to kind of adjust to that. Some of our characters will have to keep reminding themselves, right, you're different now. And but keeping track of that is the same as it always is in drama. You know, the emotion of it usually is linear because you're taking the audience, and the audience can't time travel. They're always going to experience things from beginning to end, and that's how you have to tell the story.
So I'm sure you've been asked many times. You're on your second season, but it started out as a little film that became 12 Monkeys, that became the series. Are there still reference points in those in Terry Gilliam's film, or even Le Jetée, or are you way beyond that now?
No, I mean, we're pretty beyond it in terms of the story that David and Janet Peoples wrote for the script. But there is the reason I think that movie is a classic movie, and that it became kind of I mean, it was a successful movie to begin with, but it is more of a cult hit in terms of people find it and they go, wow, that's a special film. I think there are things about it, about its spirit, that we've kind of adopted. And, part of it is the notion of sanity, and who's crazy, and what does crazy mean, or who's sane. And I do think that relates to time travel, because, crazy people make bad decisions. If they can go back in time and undo it, are they still crazy? So there's little things like that the movie touched on that we're still borrowing, as well as the movie was always infected with a sense of loss for civilization. I mean, that's why Bruce Willis was going back in time to try and save this last shred of humanity, and that's an important thing that no one else is really doing that on TV, because you have a lot of post-apocalyptic or dystopian shows, but you don't have a show that is constantly living in that dystopia and then going back to before and constantly reminding you of what you've lost. And I think that's a big part of Terry Gilliam's movie, and it's the way he framed and shot it, and it was all in a way, a celebration of all the stupid shit that we do all the time that is civilization. Got beer, that's a great thing, and we should, kind of feel grateful for everything.
That's fascinating. Thank you very much, and good luck with the show. Take care. Thank you.